Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Conan the Barbarian, issue number 11 from Titan Comics. Covered by Alex Horley. Looks great. And yeah, we're going to continue this, in my opinion, very cool book. I like it a lot. I know I'm very far behind, but you know, it is what it is. It's also an omnibus or something. Anyway, we have a flashback. Or sort. Well, it's not really a flashback. I mean, Conan is more like in the past here, and he meets a character that he already met in his own timeline, and that he killed in a dungeon, right? But that thing is not really, has occurred yet. But this is basically his friend called Jack Kosha, and Conan doesn't know what's happening here. So he says, "Is this the past?" Well, he says yes, but also no, He says, mortal man is trapped in a prisoner of the present or madness of their own memories. He says, I'm no prisoner. So Jarkosha talks to him, right? And he says, I don't know what brings you here, but it has a purpose. But it's a purpose that I cannot see, because he can see into the future to a certain degree upon the time of his death. And he's going to die because not only he see it in his future, but also Conan told him, sort of, right? He says, am I being used? Is that such a surprise? In ages yet to come, I use you to exact my vengeance. So you see my fate as well. Unfortunately, such sight ends at my death, a cycle I am bound to, a limitation of this physical form. So she also said that he is bound to a person, just like fate is bound to this elephant man. And he says, if their fate was not intertwined, he probably couldn't see him, right? See him as in, how he stands before him, because he's in the past. So he's bound to a woman called Brissa, a Pict, but also her ancestor Brule. Then you must follow them where this winding path leads. And that's where it's cool. We have King Cole, we have Conan, we have Brule, and the Red Slayers. Basically, have a goal here. They have a mission. What that mission really is, well, basically, King Cole wants to end his enemies, snake people, but this is not where snake people are. But this is where he was, I believe, raised, or where he grew up, or this is, I believe, a city of Atlantis. And there's little information, but the information that is here, that Cole says that if the Atlanteans were alive today, because they are seen here as giants, by the way, by this armor, they would have enslaved this land, because they are very strong, right, and very evolved. So Conan sees this, probably maybe his friend on the wall, and he has, warm memories about that. He says, I do not understand these riddles you speak, says Conan to his friend. Nor should you. To gaze beyond mortal means you would shatter your mind and ruin any hope if you have returning to your time of your birth and of my death. Riddles of steel, riddles of the soul, the questions of conscience may be only solved at the end of all things. And then even then, the answer may elude you. He says, I need to go, but we must speak again. And he says, we will, when we meet in the Tower of Arunjun and carry forth a message to my captor, ending my story while yours carries on, a service which I am most grateful. So they are saying goodbye. He says, go on, bold one. Be the thief, warrior, killer, and king, as fate demands. He says, king. Yes, once upon a time in the future, Conan will be called King Conan, right? Although he doesn't know that, right? That's not his path right now. So Cole comes in and knows that, realizes that he was distracted. Cole says, we must press on. And then they reach a very big door, a giant door. Something to keep them out, or keep something within. So Cole searches for a way in, but then Conan decides to, hack into this door, and everybody chimes in, and then breaking the door open. But then, well, cool. Morlocks. I mean, I guess they're Morlocks. They look like Morlocks. I mean, it's from the movie, which I forgot the name, the time traveling movie from the 60s. Really cool. There's also a remake, which is really bad, about a guy that goes into the, has a time travel device, and then goes far, far, far into the future where humanity almost died out, and then being enslaved by people that live underground called Morlocks, which is a freaking awesome movie. Right? And they look a little bit like that, subterranean horde. So a big fight breaks out, right? So the woman that, Conan liked, and she liked him, says, we need to retreat. There's too many. But Conan says, no, if we scatter in the shadow, they have the advantage and tear us apart. We need to stay in the light. But there is more and more and more, creatures are coming, right? And the action looks great. Lots of death and gore. Lots of cleaving. Yet every fallen foe, more of the disturbing underdwellers swell forth from the darkness, and even the well-trained royal guards struggle to stay alive. That's not good. Right? But they press on, and the tide is turning, right, in their favor. So he says, take my arm to this woman. I get you to safety, but it's too late. She is dead. They share the warm moments aboard the ship, a fleeting bit of fun, now just another corpse on his cursed quest. Yes, that happens to a lot, and with people in Conan's vicinity. Only 4 people are alive, Kull, Conan, Brule, and a slayer. Conan's surprised when Kull kneels before his fallen fighters. The king's voice quakes with deep remorse as he prays that their souls are sent back to the surface. Shots a pact is not likely made, because he swears that the sacrifices will not be in vain. We'll see. Now, this is a cool-looking page where they're going to the subterranean, tunnels, and they see open areas, small areas, but also a lot of, bones and skulls, and they realize that they're eating their own. Also a lot of inbred souls that living and dying in the dark, right? But then, despite the size of these subterranean structures, the air feels thick and labored, stained with the smell of endless death. And with each step through these halls of prehistory, Kull's intensity grows, as does his group's concern. All right, so Kull says, we are close, and they are come to some kind of an old Atlantean burial chamber, a sarcophagus with a mark on it, right? So he wants to come in, right? But then Brule says, my king, please, I know we have traveled far, but we must approach with caution. Caution? Did caution slay Borna and liberate fair Valusia? Did caution crush the shape changers who conspire against my throne? No! Legends are born from the brave and the bold. He lost to Media once more, says Conan. Yeah, he was a little bit crazy in the previous issues. Solid stone sealed for centuries move a lid of the sarcophagus would normally require the efforts of all 4 men. But King Kull is bolstered by a tiger's spirit strength and the depths of his desires. He sees a corpse with bandages, but his eyes is leaning to one object. The Atlantean sword for the Atlantean king, a symbol of my sovereign authority now and forevermore, he claims. All this way for a sword. Kull, be careful. We do not know what baneful power lay within that weapon. I'll feel we find out soon enough, says Conan. Yes, because something is happening. Winds are, where's winds? Maybe dust, maybe smoke. And the voice says, the blade is mine, as a dark figure rises from the grave. I like it because King Seals hypnotize, not himself. But he's also been stabbed in the back by this creature. He says, your vaunted sovereign authority ends here. With a simple thrust of the ancient weapon effortlessly stabs through the king of Valusia so quickly he doesn't even have time to cry out. While his allies stand stunned by the sudden attack on their friend and ruler. All right. So, powerful energy, a death magic, explodes from the corpse's shriveled fingers, rupturing the soul of the brave royal bodyguard. Conan tries to charge forth into his ray, but his physical form suddenly shudders as the tethers that keep him in this Furian age struggle to stay alive. But then the corpse says, now you see, Spear Slayer, this is your end. Fulza Doom is reborn, and with Kull dead by my hand, I shall rule all ages unconquered. Yes, this is Fulza Doom. Leads us to the next issue. Man, this looks so cool with all this energy swirling around. And I remember that Fulza Doom looks a little bit different, but there is a reason for that. Because if you want to pause the video, we have an explanation how this version of Fulza Doom came to be and how it evolved into, you know, the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and, you know, Marvel Comics. So yeah, check it out if you are interested in that. Also, well, more. And yeah, we have some covers. This is mine. So yeah, we're gonna as always continue, right? Because this is just too much fun, guys. Comment, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. And pick this up. It's 100% worth it. Bye-bye.